Pathology is a major medical field, primarily concerning the diagnosis of diseases through the examination of biological samples. Current education focuses mostly on theoretical knowledge, especially at its beginning. Medical students are requested to retain an extensive amount of knowledge. Then, in everyday working life, pathologists must be able to interpret a biopsy in order to make a final diagnosis. It takes a considerable amount of time and real devotion to acquire professional experience in the field. Our perspective with regard to the future of medical education is experiential learning. Learning authentically implies that learners, simulating their present or future professional practice, gain medical experience in the process of diagnosing human diseases. This challenge is linked with the main educational task undertaken, that is, structuring an interactive e-learning platform in the context of a novel teaching strategy. The relevant project, entitled ICTE Modules on Histopathology, a useful online tool for students, researchers and professionals, HIPON, has been launched at the beginning of 2013. The project has resulted in the development of a valuable open resource available for free at the website www.hiponproject.eu. It has resulted in an autonomous, well-structured and user-friendly e-learning platform specifically focused on histopathology. Our up-to-date platform combines a virtual portfolio, a list of resources and links, and, most importantly, characteristic case studies presented on such a basis that experience is conveyed and acquired instead of mere information. The basic concept underlying HIPON's methodology is to follow mixed learning pathways based on case studies, always taking advantage of modern visual technology. The latter includes enlargeable high-resolution images, virtual slides, and educative videos. The step-by-step analysis of the diagnostic thought is the crux of the matter. HIPON architecture and its component sections, general pathology and systemic pathology, were developed completely in accordance with the project aims. In the general pathology section, tissue basic pathological alterations combined with both infectious and non-infectious diseases are presented. The systemic pathology section consists in several units and chapters, every one of which deals with a different organ system of the human body. Every chapter responds to HIPON goals earlier identified, providing an initial overview, several case studies, and a concluding image-based test. The overview section, presenting the pathological patterns of the organ analyzed in the relevant chapter, provides information which proves to be helpful while going on within the chapter. Theory is soon transferred to real-life practice, thanks to the case study section, which is the most innovative one of the project. Simulating the same diagnostic procedure that expert pathologists are used to follow, the provision of case studies supplies users with the opportunity to apply what they have already learned, and therefore deepen their understanding and ameliorate their skills. Then, in the image-based test section, the user's acquired diagnostic experience can be estimated by answering single-answer or multiple-choice image-based questions, as well as by matching the microscopic features shown in images with the relevant morphological terms. The case study section, as the whole platform, is constructed in such a way so as to make users gain medical experience in the analytical diagnostic process in order to reach the final diagnosis. This educational concept which explicitly responds to the program's purpose, can be better understood through the presentation of a HIPON chapter. For example, the third one of the urinary tract HIPON unit, that is, epithelial neoplasms of the urinary bladder. In the overview section, after the objectives of the chapter are pointed out, principles in bladder tumor pathology are provided. An initial introduction briefly describes the normal bladder wall, in order to better understand the pathological pattern description which comes next. Various tumor types of the urinary bladder are presented, taking advantage of modern image technologies. The tissue architecture is always analyzed in appropriate brief texts, accompanying extended microscope image collections. The latter are composed of multiple high-resolution images, which are always enlargeable, so as to appreciate the shown architectural pattern better and allow an in-depth analysis. Glossary and resources are provided. For each chapter-specific medical term, a definition is provided in the glossary page. Resources, through links to the reference page and web links, are available for further study. The case study section which follows asks users to act as expert pathologists, reproducing step by step the diagnostic process from the case initial presentation up to the final diagnosis. A real case is presented. Several images taken from a real biopsy of a mass located in the bladder posterior wall are provided. The high-resolution images, which are always enlargeable, are supported by expert pathologists' relevant comments, bearing the proper analysis. In real life, the diagnostic process is a complex procedure that often requires additional information in support of the specimen's microscopic examination, so as to achieve the correct diagnosis. Through the platform, users improve their skills of correlating pathological data with other clinical laboratory information. The additional information can be optionally chosen among 5 fields: immunohistochemistry, histochemistry, further laboratory data, more detailed patient history, and imaging. Some of them may not be necessary to reach the final diagnosis, as happens in this chapter with regard to the more detailed patient history field. Users should select the data that they consider to be of essential diagnostic value. For example, by clicking immunohistochemistry, the staining for the marker cytokeratin 20, which is indeed needed to confirm the diagnosis of dysplasia in the tumor adjacent urothelium, becomes available. After that, users are supposed to have formed their diagnosis, so they are asked to select among 4 alternatives. Thereafter, in case of either right or wrong diagnosis, an explanation follows. In this way, learners may confirm their own right diagnostic thought or understand why they were wrong. In the explanation section, the meaning of every previously presented image and data, as well as their correlation to the final diagnosis, are clarified. Soon after, basic guidelines on differential diagnosis point out why the other diagnostic alternatives are excluded. Furthermore, some practical tips on the correct diagnostic procedure of urothelial neoplasms are provided. As in the overview section, relevant resources and web links are available so that the acquired knowledge is consolidated. In the concluding image-based test section, the degree of consolidation of the user's diagnostic experience can be estimated. Further high-resolution enlargeable images are provided, accompanied by relevant questions. Users should recognize any specific pattern of injury shown in each image on their own and evaluate its significance so as to answer the relevant question. The correct answer to the questions is revealed in the test review, which becomes available after the whole test is being taken. By doing all this, HIPON provides an innovative platform which imprints medical experience in diagnostic practical issues of histopathology in order to assist learners gain practical insight of the theoretical background they are traditionally taught.